Alright guys, we are back and we are joining into a remake of Spaghetti versus Gucci. This game had already started a little bit, but they're going to go ahead and just restart into AP. Hopefully there won't be any more drama as far as this game goes, but again I am joined with Nizcast. Are you here with us, Niz?
Yeah, I'm just trying to quickly figure out what these teams are and get...
Yeah, this is the, if I'm not mistaken, this is a semi-final match. This is towards the end of the bracket. Yeah, this is currently...
Spaghetti versus Gucci.
No, this is the round of 8. Sorry. This is the actual round of 8. The next one is the round of 4, and then, of course, the finals. So this is a round of 8 match. This is the most, like, I guess you could say, like, farthest ahead in the bracket match. So the winner of this will get straight into semi-finals, which is pretty important. Again, I was talking about that last time. I was mistaken, but... winning this match is basically you're one win away from that $100 and the prestige of winning this week's Sunday Evening Cup Series. And honestly, the one now that, you know, Thursday evening is not for money, this is definitely a little bit more prestigious, and the teams that are coming out are a lot higher caliber, and we're going to start to see those teams be the last ones left in the pool. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and introduce, I believe this is... team. Oh god, I don't know exactly which team is which. I'm gonna make sure I figure that out right now. I just need to know which team Impulse is on.
Team with Impulse and Frost.
Okay, is Gucci. Okay, perfect. So for Gucci, we have on the Radiant side Apathy playing the Skywrath Mage. Can I has a cookie on the Mirana. We have Frost playing the Wraith King. Impulse on the Invoker, and finally we have Something playing the Batrider.
Alright, on Team Spaghetti on the Dire side, we have XCOM on the Earthshaker. We have This Ain't Even My Name You Jelly, M. Campbell's, playing the Faceless Void. We've got Zeb on the Rasta. We got 747 on the Death Prophet, and we got Taku on the Sniper.
So this should be a pretty interesting game. Honestly, we didn't get to go through the draft and talk to you guys about what the picks are, but this will be a very interesting game. We do have try action going on. This is a very strong try lane, obviously, with the Skywrath Mage, Wraith King, and Mirana. You can do quite a bit against a Sniper too, especially if you get that Sniper in a poor position. Sniper doesn't have anything to help him get out of that situation. Low health and low movement speed. Looks like Apathy is going to go ahead and rotate around this way. Does go in vision of that Dire Ward and places down a ward as well. So they are aware of that, and we'll be able to deward it at some point.
Yeah, a lot of ping spam came out as he made that rotation. So everyone on Team Dire knows what's going on with that Skywrath Mage. But we are going to see the Traverse try. This is a scary lane as the Sniper. But you do have Earthshaker on your team. And Earthshaker's really good at being safe in a tri lane, and just kind of, you know, he can throw that fissure in. If you go a little too aggressive when you're not respecting Earthshaker's positioning, you can get fissured off, and that can quickly turn around. Even though the Radiant side here does have what I would consider a much stronger tri lane, they can easily misstep and end up losing a hero just because of that Earthshaker fissure.
Definitely important point to note, and Earthshaker going immediately after that stack to go D-ward. Very efficient timing on him, or very efficient play. As soon as he got that stack, he immediately left, and you can see Taku already aware of the fact that there's no reason for him to run up in lane, so he's going to go ahead and share the CS and the experience with Zeb. And considering the situation of what lane they're against, I think this is a very intelligent decision. There's no reason to hoard the experience or gold into any one of those heroes. All three of them are going to need it as this game goes on, and maybe Frost might get caught out here, but XCOM does decide to not throw that fissure, save it for another point.
Oh yeah, it's just pretty standard right now. You know, the Dire side's just been pulling in this tri lane, getting their XP, getting what they can. You know, they had to play obviously a lot safer once Earthshaker made that rotation to go D-ward, but they didn't die. They got the ward. Now they're back, and it's just kind of the tri lane back to normal. They throw down another sentry ward, making sure that there's no vision there. Mirana will throw an arrow. Unfortunately, it does miss on the Sniper.
And Frost does actually end up catching 2 creeps, pulls him down to here, does a good job of getting those last hits, because for those of you who don't know, when neutrals get the last hit on a creep, it is never going to give you experience. So it's okay if the enemy creeps kill your creeps, or sorry, your creeps kill their creeps, but if the neutrals kill their creeps, you will not get any experience. So great play by Frost, making sure he nets those 2 last hits.
And this Death Prophet's actually been doing really well mid, up to a 15-5 lead over the Invoker, which is only at 6-3. But
And honestly, in bottom lane, sorry, there might be a dive here as the Faceless Void does get a Lucky Bash, does actually go for the leap here, won't continue to pursue this, but I wanted to point out that the Faceless Void is beating a Batrider, which honestly shouldn't happen because Batrider is a melee dominating hero, and already Faceless Void again getting in position to continue this chase. If he does pop the Firefly, he can pursue through with leap to help that slow. Sure, Firefly allows you to run through trees, but if you're running really slow, they can just stand on top of you and tank the damage and get the kill anyways.
the other thing that's really actually kind of surprising here is the Sniper's actually ahead of the Mirana. Sniper's at 9-1, and as I said that, the Mirana was at 7-3, but she just went up to 9-3. 10-3. But yeah, the Sniper's actually doing pretty well, considering he had to play safe for a little bit there.
Yeah, and a lot of the time people wonder, you know, like, oh, how does Mushi or how does so-and-so get so much farm? You know, and honestly, it comes down to, in these situations, the heroes that don't miss those 5 to 10 to 15 CS get so much more out of the laning phase than the other players. So, you know, really good play coming out of Spaghetti here to make sure that they get as much out of these lanes as possible. And, I mean, on the last hit charts, you shouldn't have a defensive tri-lane sniper basically behind your mid and your technically farming hero, because yeah, Batrider's in the safe lane, but you know, it's pretty obvious to say that Batrider is not a carry hero. Batrider is an initiating, tempo controlling hero, and they just want to get the blink on him early, which is honestly perfectly fine. It's just if your Mirana isn't getting a lot, what are you really doing in this lane right now? And this smoke should have been spotted by the ward, and XCOM is in position to reveal it, and that's a waste of 100 gold right down the drain.
XCOM's been doing a really good position.
And actually, though, really quickly, stun on to Taku. The arrow does miss, but Zeb turns around with the Great Shackles, and that's going to be first blood as they do go down top. And now the Sniper is going to chase down. He does have the leap to get away, but XCOM is continuing to chase and Taku as well. They does throw out the Arcane Bolt, the Skywrath Mage that is, and that will stop the pursuit there. And maybe they want to turn this around as they do have an arrow coming off of cooldown, but again, I think that goes exactly to what you're saying.
Yeah, there's actually a kill bottom from Batrider, getting the kill on Faceless Void.
That's very important.
He didn't even use Lasso for that, so that's a good swing for the Batrider there, as he's definitely fallen behind in CS in that lane.
He's gonna need that, honestly, because he needs to have a huge impact for his team. And it's not like the rest of his team isn't good heroes or anything like that, but when you pick a Batrider, you pick a tempo controlling hero, and they don't control the tempo for you, and they don't get those necessary kills in the first 15 minutes of the game, what was that pick for? So definitely looking to Batrider to control this game as it continues on, and he's going to TP back to base, and I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up a smoke off the back of this and immediately goes top with that lasso. And he did use that Firefly, which is going to push out the lane this last little bit, which will stop Faceless Void from being sure, and as well as the Dire team, to be sure exactly what Batrider's doing. And he isn't going to grab a smoke, but he's immediately going to rotate towards the middle, it looks like. Yeah, surprised he doesn't get a smoke.
So far we've seen every player on this Dire side playing really, really well. You know, we've got Death Prophet dominating mid. We've got the Void doing really well in the bottom lane against that Bat, even though he did just die. And everyone in the Stry lane's been playing really well. I was going to mention XCOM's been doing a really good job rotating, as you see an arrow fly, but it does miss on the Sniper. But yeah, XCOM was doing a really good job of rotating around. He knew that he's got vision of generally where the supports are going to be from the Radiant side, and he knows that the Radiant side doesn't.
They're actually going to go on Taku up here as the concussive shot does go out in a great arrow, but it's actually going to miss. Ken has a cookie, tries to go in for the last right click, but a great shackle stopped him from being able to get that off, and with the Fisher as well, it cuts him off, and that's a free kill, and 2-1, whereas this aggressive tri-lane is supposed to be getting these kills when they go for them. Great play by the Dire side, using the advantages of their tri-lane to really win out in these engagements. Really, yeah. I can't think of another way to say it.
But just to finish what I was saying, was XCOM was doing a really good job of rotating around. He was able to control the top lane, or top rune, which was really helping Death Prophet win the lane. He was able to go and control top
Another
rune.
Fisher is going to go off. Does it get the shackles? No.
But yeah, he was able to go in and control top rune and get Death Prophet a regen rune, which is really hard to do when you're in a try versus try and you're on the Dire side in that situation to control top rune. But he was able to do it, and that regen rune definitely helped Death Prophet further dominate this middle lane. As we see another smoke, and Skywrath and Wraith King are moving through top rune.
Arrow does fly top as well during that and is going to miss, but this gank should work as the Tornado and the MP goes out, as well as the Cold Snap. 747 taking quite a bit of damage. There is the defensive fission there, but I think it's actually going to turn into a death on impulse. Maybe not, as Zeb does get the Shackles, does decide to cancel that, as there's obviously not enough follow-up. And meanwhile in top lane, Sniper does throw out that Assassinate, but again, Mirana, great play. As soon as you hear that op noise go off, which is, you know, funny fact about Dota, the sniper noise is the op from CSGO, but when you hear that shot go off and you immediately leap, it'll disjoint the attack. So great play by Mirana, or disjoint the Assassinate. But maybe she might die here. She does have it on cooldown for another 5 seconds, and if there's a single headshot, one more, not enough, as she does time that wand charge very well.
Void bottom.
That might be enough to finish him off, as Frost does come with that too. Does have the stun, enough right clicks, and with the sticky napalm as well as that Firefly, it's going to be enough to finish him off. And
Sky's still sitting around with
they're
the invis on top as well.
honestly, Radiant doing a good job here, and like you said, with that invis, they could continue to pressure this here. Taku may not know about this. The arrow does fling out, and he does dodge it. Maybe should have waited until the concussive shot comes off, but right now, if they went, they might be able to get him. As Sniper doesn't have that much movement speed, even with phase boots. He's still sitting under 400, and there we go. A little bit of a misclick, though, coming out of Apathy, as he does use an Arcane Bolt on a creep, and that's going to be enough for Sniper to survive and kill. Gank a little bit whiffed there. Missed opportunity.
It's just unfortunate that the Mirana's HP was so low, so Kenai has Cookie couldn't really go too aggressive on that sniper. That looked like it could have easily been a kill had Mirana had more HP. Because Apathy on the Skywrath was definitely in position. But, yeah, Mirana was kind of forced to just kind of throw an arrow and hope. But we see Sky did ward near top rune, but there already is a Dire Ward there, so
Yep.
Dire Ward, or Dire side does know it's there.
Well, and on top of that, we're going to see Taku, level 7 with 4 points in Shrapnel, and that Aki ring is going to allow him to spam Shrapnel on that tower, and it has that Liquid Fire-esque, where it may not slow the the attack of the tower, but the damage that Shrapnel does to it building over time adds up really quickly, especially with the cast range on that. You'll notice that Sniper can cast it at least, is it 1200? Cast range? Yeah, it's about 1200. No, it looks actually bigger than that. It looks about a 1600 cast range. So very far away, and the slow effect is very helpful too. And Ken has a Cookie walking straight into a trap as Faceless Void, something I should have talked about. He was standing right here. We did show it on the camera as he rotated over here, but was just hiding off in the fog, waiting for the first hero from the Radiant team to come into lane, and immediately they drop that Chronosphere.
The Batrider came bottom to bully the XCOM on the Earthshaker out of the lane. Earthshaker went top, but now this Bat's actually stuck bottom. He's choosing to Firefly to push the lane rather than respawn top, as they don't think they can really defend this tier 1 tower. So he's trying to make something else happen on the map.
Radiant's top tower has
Death Prophet
fallen.
looks like she's going to rotate bottom to try
Dire's
and deal with
bottom
it. She does have a
tower is
haste
under
bottle.
attack.
And the Sniper did get the last hit on that tower, so very important that he gets that farm. Sniper, one of those heroes that when he is behind is honestly, for lack of a better phrase, complete shit. But when Sniper is on equal terms or ahead, Sniper is one of the most annoying heroes to deal with. Not only to defend your own base, but you cannot go high ground against a fat Sniper because he's just going to stand behind racks and shoot you down. And once he gets that Daedalus and enough attack speed, he just rips through your team. So Impulse, though, looking for the gank on middle, does get the Tornado as well as the well-timed EMP. XCOM should die from this. The concussive shot hits as well, but they can't chase it out. Apathy trying to get the last Arcane Bolt, but great fog play from XCOM, using that little divot right there to get away. And now this tower may be pressured, but they don't have any more chase ability to continue to get any more kills off of this. The best they can do is continue to apply pressure to this tower.
What they do have is a Batrider who just picked up his Blink Dagger. Death Prophet did get the bottom tier 1, and that's going to get her Yule Scepter as well. But, yeah, we're going to have to look to see...
Zeb, actually, I missed it. It gets hit by an arrow in middle lane, does follow up with the Wraith Fire Blast, as well as the EMP is going to be enough to get a kill on him. Great arrow by Kenna as a Cookie. Obviously, some sort of angle in which that he was standing right there, didn't really see it, goes through the tower and clips him. And free kill, and that's going to be another tower as well.
I'm glad you saw that. I didn't see the arrow thrown at. And
I didn't see it. I saw the stun. That's
there was
it.
no stun effect on him. I was just like, why is he standing there?
And I missed a kill, unfortunately, as it looks like top lane. I saw the Batrider rotating up there, pinging as Kenna has a Cookie TP, but it looks like just a great lasso pulling back into the arrow. But meanwhile, in the middle lane, they're going to get a double Chronosphere, hitting both on Frost and Impulse. They get the Ether Shock to finish off Frost, but his Aegis is up. That does get the Tornado as well. To stall this out, Frost does get the Shackles onto him as well as the Sentry Ward going down, and now Impulse running back in. Did not know that Sentry Ward is there. Is going to get focused down, and now Bat Rider as well coming in, but the Echo Slam plus the Fisher might be enough to finish him off. They do get the Bat Rider, or sorry, the Earthshaker, and the Bat Rider gets out alive, so decent trade coming from the Radiant team, but honestly, Impulse running back in as that Sentry Ward went down does end his life.
Two things to note there. During all that, Death Prophet did get a solo kill on Skyrath below where the Radiant Tier 1 bottom used to be. And the other thing is that Void easily could have chased that Bat Rider there and gotten the one more attack to get the last hit in the kill on Bat Rider, but he had good awareness to realize that the Mirana was coming from above, from top rune, and that arrow would have caught him had he tried to do that. So it was good awareness for him to not tunnel vision there.
I completely agree.
Realize that the Mirana was coming.
And as a support player, and it's something I want to point out to you before the action starts, if you look at the farm differential between the two supports on both teams, it's starting to look dire, pun intended, for the Radiant team here, because they don't have anything up, whereas the dire supports are starting to get a lot, but they do have the EMP as well as the Tornado. XCOM runs through the Mystic Flare, but knows he's going to survive it, and the Assassinate onto Skyrath. Great play by the sniper. They do fling out the arrow, but it's going to miss as they all are running into Roshan. They do have the Exorcism up, and with the wards as well, this will be an incredibly quick Roshan, but yeah, Niz, I mean, you as a support player understand this, you know, me as a support player, you, whatever, you know. At this point in time, with Arcane Boots up on Earthshaker, 1100 gold, now 14 on Rasta, and, you know, just brown boots on both of the other supports on the Radiant, it's going to be hard for them to do anything to help their team, whereas the Dire side supports are going to have a lot easier time assisting their team with the items they have. Arrow does hit on 747. Great arrow, but I don't think they can do anything about it, as Taku is just going to throw out the shrapnel to stall this push. Throws out as well the Assassinate, but great positioning from Faceless Void. Gets a great Chronosphere, and the Ether Shock hits on two heroes again in the back room, though. Taku is going to get lassoed up, does go down. Bat Rider should go down here as he does TP, but it gets hexed immediately. Can't understand why I can't speak right now. Arrow goes down onto Earthshaker, does get him. Taku picks up the kill on the Mirana with the leap in from the Faceless Void. That should be a fourth kill coming out for the side of the Dire team. Is honestly great execution, great forethought, as they knew that Roshan would be quick, and Faceless Void immediately rotated into a position in which the Faceless Void the Faceless Void immediately rotated in a position in which once they got the Aegis, they could pressure the lane, and just that Chronosphere right there. Perfect setup, perfect play, and honestly right now the Dire is in a commanding position. And so give me a second to stop stuttering and collect my thoughts, as Niz, you haven't been able to say much in the last few minutes as there's been a ton of action.
Yeah, that whole engagement felt a little forced by the Bats. Used his Firefly to try to get in there and deal with the fact that the Dire side was doing Roche, but he got there too late, so he wasn't able to jump in and snag the Aegis. And then it just kind of led to just being out of position all over the place. He was out of position, his team was then out of position trying to help him, and it just ended up to being a really ugly fight. They did manage to pick off the sniper in the back to get rid of that Aegis, but you know, they ended up losing 4 heroes in the process, which is never good. I want to go back to what you were talking about with the support heroes and how the Dire side supports just have more farm, and some of that comes down to just better rotations, and the Earthshaker had the opportunity to go bottom and farm for a little bit. I mentioned that the Bat rotated down and forced him out of the lane, but that was after he had already gotten enough gold to buy his mana boots, which he then bought at the top lane. But yeah, just having those mana boots up on a support hero is so big, especially on an Earthshaker, because now he can start working towards his blink, and he's at 1900 gold right now.
And so is the Rasta. They almost have double blink up on their supports, so to even add to your point, the difference that's starting to accrue here is pretty massive. Sniper will throw that Assassinate out, as honestly with that Aki ring and his base intelligence gain isn't that bad for a sniper. 2.6 is relatively high for most agility based heroes, and he does now pick up that Maelstrom, and with double attack speed items he's down to 0.79. We'll get, you know, about 5 attacks every 4 seconds, and that's gonna add up because every Maelstrom proc, and then the faster his attack speed gets. And again, once I said he gets that Daedalus, that's when Sniper to me really becomes an incredible power in the game, because if you can't get to him and there's a 25% chance that he just wipes away half of one of your teammates' health, becomes a big deal. And not to mention headshots mini stun is really annoying for channelers and, you know, honestly any positioning, because if you're constantly getting mini stunned, how are you supposed to get your spells off in time and, you know, get in position, and not to mention the psychological factor that Sniper puts on your team.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'm just kind of cycling through the items here, seeing what's about to be coming out from the Radiant side, and there's really not much of anything. You know, Invokers.
But middle lane, they are going to get the lasso onto Death Prophet. This is a way to get items. They get the silence as well, and the stun, but the Yules, great timing. Again, the Sniper's just standing in the back, focusing. They will get the kill off on him, and the Chronosphere only hits one this time, so much better for the Radiant, but they will get the Skywrath as a return. Support for mid is definitely something that the Radiant side is looking for over the Dire side in this situation. But continuing on, Impulse taking quite a bit of damage. Frost goes in, does get the ult off onto Zeb, taking quite a bit of damage, will respawn. The stun is on CD for another 2 seconds. Leap in by Void is going to slow this Batrider quite a bit. They will throw the stun onto the Faceless Void, but Echo Slam onto Impulse is going to be enough to finish him off with the Fissure. And Mirana may have gotten the bottom tower in the middle of this, but yeah, that smoke will allow them to catch up here as he does get the Shrapnel, maybe the Fissure to follow up, but no, they won't actually chase. And again, Kenna has a cookie. The Mirana does get a trade for a bottom tower during all of this, but I don't think it's that big of a deal when you're losing your Invoker. You're losing the Aegis on your Wraith King for another 3 minutes, and you even lost your Batrider, who doesn't have a Force Staff yet. He's literally 100 gold from Recipe now.
Yeah, that whole fight mid, Frost actually made a good play by going and stunning, and he died, but he had his ultimate up, so there was going to be the slow, and then Batrider knocked back the Rasta. It looked like it was going to be a kill on Rasta, but Impulse on the Invoker was just really hesitant. He wasn't throwing out any attacks, and then he decided, oh, I have to come back in to get this kill on Rasta. He comes back in, and then it's too late, and then they jump on him, and he ends up losing his life. So just a little bit of a misplay there from the Radiant side, but...
and Taku reading the situation very well. Maybe not. Maybe I speak too early, as Impulse actually will catch him out here. He is in range of him, does get the Tornado. They will follow this up, obviously, with the Cold Snap, and with the EMP and the Wraithfire Blast, it's enough to clean him up. So, little tooting his horn a little early as Taku does fall to that gank. Great rotation coming out of the Radiant team. These are the kind of things they need to get back into this game if they stand a chance of winning.
Yeah, absolutely. But just echoes how well Frost has actually been playing this game. Even though his team's behind, I think he's been doing a really good job. We had Apathy on the Skywrath, who seemingly was playing position 6 this game, but he's fallen so far behind that even Frost has been helping out, buying some wards this game. And Frost is still doing okay, considering how far behind the supports on his team have fallen just because of how the game's gone.
And Kenna has a cookie. We'll get the tower in middle lane, however, he probably should pay with his life as Chronosphere does come out. Ether Shock and the right clicks will be enough to clean it up. The core hero does go down for Radiant as they do trade for that tower. Actually 2 towers. Let me backpedal there a little bit. So 2 towers for the core hero. Definitely trades, and honestly, you know, one belief I definitely have about Dota is when you're behind, trades is what you need. Because you're behind, yeah, you can give up 1,000 gold, but if you get 1,500 out of it and a little bit more experience than them, then you're farther ahead than you were, or closer to catching up than you were before. So definitely the right decisions coming out of the Radiant team. The question is now, what do they do now? All the T1s are down for them, and the T2s, except for this top one, and all the T1s are down for Dire. There's a lot of open space in this map, a lot of controlling that's going to need to come out from Batrider, and movement from the Radiant team. And if the Dire team pushes and groups up and plays well, it's really just going to come down to the ganking potential. And we actually do see Impulse in the top lane with the Batrider immediately, and that Mirana ult does have the Orchid with the lasso as well as the Cold Snap will be enough to get that kill for free. So if they're going to catch up, like I said, and you agreed, this is going to be the way, and great execution there with that Ghost Walk Orchid build that honestly it works out great. If you can pull off these kind of ganks and keep them guessing and on the back foot, it'll work out. And Invis from Skywrath maybe to pick off this Void. They do spy him out. He is body blocking him up a little bit. The Mom is about to end as he will be able to get the silence, but XCOM is nearby. The silence should be, the Invis should be revealed, but it's not, as he does get flame breaked back into the Mystic Flare. Great play, but XCOM with that Echo Slam gets Impulse really low, will get the dust off as well as Impulse 4 steps forward, but will get maybe picked off still by XCOM, but no, they're chasing. And Kenna has a cookie, comes back in, arrow misses. The Rasta does get the Ether Shock to finish off the Skywrath. However, Kana has a cookie, is not going to be able to get anything out of this, and Batrider is up on this ledge, is going to TP away, and Impulse survives there. But honestly, great
Dire's
return
top
plays
tower
from the
is
Dire,
under
just
siege.
not enough to net anything really worthwhile besides the support kill. Arrow. Ooh.
That flame break was terrific, knocking him back into the Skywrath ult. But there was no reason to continue forcing there. You know, as we saw, the Rasta came in, cleaned up the kill on the Skywrath, but then there was kind of that moment where the Radiant was just hanging around that pillar at the top, and they were thinking about re-engaging, and there was no reason to force that. You'd already made
Meanwhile,
a good
bottom
trade,
lane? No,
Skywrath
okay.
for Void. There's no reason to force that.
Nothing's going to happen. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with your point. And Frost actually picks up his Blink Dagger during all of this from all that great rotation and play that you're talking about. And honestly, Wraith King with a Blink is a completely different hero than Wraith King without a Blink. Because Wraith King by himself, his stun is great, but he can't really chase, he can't really keep up. But if he can blink on top of you and stun you, and then his team can follow up, Wraith King becomes a whole different level of initiator. And with the Batrider level of initiation with that, they definitely have the tools to come back in this game. But 747 does have that Bloodstone, farming up these Ancients. The Void's getting big with that Aghanim Scepter, and of course, Sniper, almost to that MJ, and you put the Static Storm on, or the Static Charge on either the Faceless Void or the Death Prophet, and they just run in, and you can't focus those heroes anymore, but you need to. So again, that double edge, or that double bind that we've talked about again, where you want to present to the other team, you have to focus my Void, but if you do, you're going to take a ton of spill damage from the Static Charge.
Bat was actually lucky as he rotated up to the top rune. Because he has picked up a gem, he was able to destroy a fresh ward just placed by the Earthshaker right at top rune.
On right here, up there? Yeah. Okay.
And so he was able to pick up a fresh ward there. So it's just one of the little things that Radiant's going to need to get back in this game. And hopefully they can hold on to that gem for a while.
I completely agree here, but XCOM is going to get initiated on the middle as the Mirana ult is used with the Lasso. Will get the free kill on him. The Echo Slam is off of CD, so it's definitely an important pick. But the question now becomes, what collateral does Gucci get out of this? Because a kill is great, but when you're behind, you need more than just a kill. It's going to tide you over here and there, but eventually you're going to have to start to get more than just a kill. You're going to have to start to get a kill and then a follow-up kill, or a kill in a tower, or a kill and 2 kills. Like, just get that extra set of collateral to give you that little extra bit to keep getting stronger and stronger, or I guess get closer and closer to coming back in the game.
I agree, but this is where you start, right? You need to start by getting 1 kill or something like that. And now they've got the gem up. The next big objective is going to be this Roche. I can't read this timer. I can't figure out when it is, but Roche is going to be up relatively soon.
The timer, it's going to be up in a minute and looks like 30 seconds about.
Yeah. So Roche is going to be up very soon. You've got this gem up on the back. You're going to control the Roche area. That's the big fight that you need to be winning. So now it's just a matter of preparing for that fight. Mm-hmm. And if they can come ahead after that...
Oh, Impulse does get spotted out here. There was a Sentry Ward on the high ground, was going for the gank, but Sniper does turn around, attack him, gives away the gank, and Impulse not able to get anything, but great play by the Faceless Void. Reading his movement, is going to immediately go back in, get the Chronosphere, and that's a free kill, and they even waste Mystic Flayer in an attempt to try to save him there. And honestly, just the Sentry Ward and the Assassinate and the Faceless Void working, like all of the cogs right there for the Dire team clicking together and executing that play. And now Roche is about 40 seconds away from being up, and Impulse is going to be up at that exact same time. If the Dire side is there when Roche respawns, they could just immediately nab it, and we'll see if they immediately check back. Void did just check, so hopefully they check again, because it's coming up really soon.
Yeah, that's... The only kind of positive that came out of Invoker dying there was that he died early enough that he could potentially get to that Roche. Unfortunately, they don't have a tower for him to TP to, so it's basically a run there. So he may not get there in time, but it's going to be close depending on when they check.
Roche should respawn here any second, and we can begin the fight over Roshan as it's 24:45. Second Roche is going to be going down. The Radiant is aware of this as they do have this ward to spot out all the movement. They see the Death Prophet Ghost as well, but the question is, can they stop them? They get the ulti, or sorry, they get the Assassinate off on Batrider because of the high ground vision. I'm not entirely sure how they saw that. I believe it was the creep wave. Arrow will fly through and hit Death Prophet, but Death Prophet is not the hero you want to hit with the arrow. Tornado will come through from Invoker, but it's just harassment. And now Aegis on the side of Sniper. The one hero that you want to get in the background and focus is now impossible to kill because he's just going to come back up. And again, if you're diving past Rasta with his wards, a Void, an Earthshaker, and a Death Prophet. Oh, sorry. I'll hold that thought as Batrider is going to go for the lasso on to Faceless Void, but will get turned on as a great Fisher as well as the Echo Slam will finish him off. And now Can-I as a Cookie will get silenced up. He's on the other side of the map. There's 2 more seconds. 1 more second. The silence will get over, and they throw out the stun to stall out XCOM, and they, of course, get the Mirana ulti to get away. But, Chronosphere from Faceless Void at the very edge catches Skywrath Mage, and that'll be 2 kills down. Or 2 heroes down for the Radiant team as 2 kills are netted by the Dire side. And honestly, Spaghetti just making great rotations here. And to finish up my point, if you're going to dive past those 4 heroes to kill a target with an Aegis, you're going to lose the game. So it's a tough situation now for the Radiant. Really tough.
Yeah,
or for Gucci.
We knew that fight at Roche was going to be a big fight, and it was going to be a deciding fight. And we were wondering if Invoker was really going to be up in time to get there, and he was. He was farming bottom lane, and the rest of his team was farming middle lane, and it seems like they didn't really want to contest the Roche immediately, and then they came in a little bit later, and it was just kind of weird. It's like Bat was the only one ready, and he went in flying around, but the rest of the team wasn't really there to really fight over that Roche, and it ended up just being an easy Roche for Dire side, and then a fight happened after it. So what are you fighting over? You know, now you're forcing when you got.
Speaking of that though, XCOM is going to snap this Invis rune, and I don't believe they do have. Never mind, they do have the gem. No, they don't, because XCOM stole the gem with the dead Batrider. So XCOM, with that Invis rune, escapes the lasso gank. And honestly, right now, this is where Gucci is going to start to feel the pressure. They're going to start to feel the stress because they're getting behind, and XCOM will run through. Impulse here does get noticed, and because of that gem on XCOM, that's a free kill. And honestly, like I was saying before, this is honestly, take 4 shots, guys. This is where, as the Radiant team, you're really starting to feel the pressure. Your options are getting limited, and if the team is going to start to nab at each other's throats, this is where it's going to start to happen, and this is where it can't happen because they're at the end. They need to hold on. They have chances to come back in this game, but the only way you can access those opportunities is through great team play and great communication and coordination. Batrider in middle lane might get picked off here, but he should be able to blink away as there really isn't too big of a threat to him. Maybe he will blink, reinitiate, but it looks like he's just going to pre-Firefly here as they know they're not going to be able to catch him.
Yeah, if the Rasta had picked up a Blink Dagger instead of working towards his Scepter, they would have been able to jump on that bat, but they didn't go that route, and they're going the Egg Scepter, which I think is actually okay, considering you've got the Blink on...
I love Bat's positioning.
Yeah, Bat's ready. But we do have a Void with double damage. So.
And Rasta wards will go down as well as the Death Prophet ult. Remember, she has a heart and a bloodstone. She's going to be damn near impossible to kill. The Void jumps in and gets the Chronosphere on Impulse and Apathy with the Death Prophet outside of it. And even Frost walking into it as he has to walk through it to get to the rest of the fight. And now the Rax is down as well as, or the T3 and the Rax is taking a lot of damage. Ken as a Cookie is going to try to come up and stall this. They do throw the fort, but at what cost are they trying to stop this? The Assassinate is going to come out, and no leap is going to be that kill. The blink forward from XCOM to go ahead and try to get the Batrider. Batrider 4 steps forward to get away, and Frost is going to use his ult to stall them up, but they still have the heart and the bloodstone on the Death Prophet, so it's going to be impossible to bring her down. Zeb gets the kill with the sniper on Wraith King as they do get the shackles, and Kenai as a Cookie is going to call the GG as the push and the farm is just too great coming out of the Dire side. And great plays from Spaghetti. They will move into the semifinals, and unfortunately Gucci just looks like in that top tri lane getting a little bit outplayed as far as with the Earthshaker. XCOM, I'll echo exactly what you said, Niz, because XCOM just the MVP as far as that tri lane goes, and that basically defined the rest of the game.
I mean, they all played well. You know, the Void, like I said, the Void did really well bottom, the Death Prophet did really well middle, and then the tri lane did really well. XCOM, you know, helped the mid win, but the mid was winning even without the runes. But that just led them on the right path, where they were just so far ahead coming out of the lanes, and you know, they ended up winning from there. So
definitely well played. Well, that's it for us this game, guys. We'll get to the next one as soon as possible. Again, I'll say this at the end of every video or at the end of every match because we'll be cutting these to YouTube. But if you're enjoying these casts, please please check out Niz at Twitch TV/Nizcast or Twitter at Nizcast. And then, of course, if you're enjoying my cast or my commentary, you can follow me, check out my Twitter, and then as well, this channel will usually have me and Niz. So if you guys are enjoying us casting together, of course, check out both, as you'll be able to find the content at both places. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get you guys the waiting screen here and some music while we get you guys into the next match.